Last year, I built, I think, somewhere around 7 or 8 cloud projects. This year, I'm cutting that number in half, and this is why. I was recently taking a look at the Stack Overflow developer survey of 2023. Regardless if developer is in your title or in your interests, you should take a look at this survey. And while you're at it, take a look at all the annual surveys that come out. Maybe not all of them because there's a bunch, but there's State of Open Source, State of Serverless, this developer one. These reports help you stay on top of trends, and that makes you more competitive and overall just more up to date. So do yourself a favor. Now, I saw a couple of things in this report that I found pretty interesting. The first one being that underemployment, it looks like 2% of people returned back to working in person. So I predict that we're going to see this number go up substantially in 2024, which means for those working in these roles, back to office. And for those looking for new roles, it's going to be less remote roles. Something to keep in mind. Another thing I found pretty interesting was when it comes to professional developers, 53% use AWS, and then 27% Azure, 23% Google Cloud, and a bunch others. That's not too surprising. We kind of know that AWS is like first market share, Azure second, Google third. So it makes sense that professionals would be, those statistics were kind of match up with those. But the learning to code one I found interesting. AWS first, okay, that matches. Then Google Cloud, then Firebase, then Netlify, then Heroku, then Vercel, then Cloudflare, then Microsoft Azure, which I find interesting because the top 3 are AWS, Azure, Google, and then it's AWS, Google, and then Azure all the way down here. So it seems to be there a little bit of a gap there. So maybe some potential for people who are wanting to learn Azure. I'm biased, of course, but it looks like, hey, if there's professional developers using Azure and learning code, not as many learning Azure, there's a little bit of a gap there, okay? And the last thing with this report that I wanted to share, cloud infrastructure engineer, median salary in USD, 105,000 USD. And then backend developer, full stack developer are down here. Cloud infrastructure engineers in the top 10, and these developer ones are not, which I also found pretty interesting. I don't want to discourage anyone from pursuing the career that they want to pursue. You'll make more money the better you are at your role, the more experienced, the more specialized, and that potential is in any type of technology. So please, I just found this interesting. Hey, and you might be asking, GPS, why are you telling us this? Which is a great question. Well, let's summarize what we've seen. Cloud infrastructure engineer salary is looking higher than software or developers, but we're also seeing return to office. We're also seeing byproduct of that, less remote roles. We're also seeing AI, automation, a need for skills, specialized skills, deeper skills, and a more competitive entry-level job market in the space, right? So we summarize all that. So that means when it comes to learning or getting hands-on for cloud engineering in 2024, we need to make sure that the strategy we're applying aligns to that. Pretty much I'm just focusing on quality over quantity because that's what's really going to gain a deeper knowledge and a more specialized skill set. And you can do this on your own as well. Like I have 2 applications in production, working on the 3rd one. And then with those 3, I'm pretty much just focused on making them as robust and as complete solutions as possible for this year. And when I learn new things and I want to implement, then I want to get hands-on, I'm just going to find a way to add those things to these projects. I don't get crazy traffic, but I get enough so I can implement monitoring and alerts. As an example, I have the Find the Cloud here. It's, type in a word definition, and these are all words that are saved in a NoSQL database in Cosmos DB on Azure. And it's kind of really straightforward application, but I've learned a lot about how to improve your database queries and how to improve your response time. In fact, I have some alerts set up here that tell me, oh, you probably need to take a look at why this is taking too long to respond, and it's improved my programming skills. And in fact, this application, this UI here, is in .NET 6, I believe, and I need to upgrade it all to .NET 8. But since this is a production application, I can't just do it whenever I want. So I'm going to go into the monitoring data and figure out when is the best time to actually do this. And this is something I couldn't do if I was just building like a prototype project moving on, which is great. It has its place. And if you're recent, just brand new to cloud, definitely do a few of those. But as soon as you can start building something and just keep adding and adding and adding onto it, add some DevOps practices, including monitoring, CI/CD, infrastructure as code, all that good stuff, documentation, new things that you want to go and build on top of them, and just really know your solution in and out. I think that's going to be key. But put something into production. If you don't get any traffic, like share it on your LinkedIn, share it on your social media. If you don't get any traffic, you can share it in our Discord. We have a couple thousand people in there. We'll have some people go check it out for sure. You might be saying, GPS, I don't have money to deploy stuff to production. I understand that. So let's take a look at how much this API has cost me for the last 3 months. From October to December of 2023, it's cost me $1.78 to have this. And you might be saying, well, how much traffic are you actually getting? And you know what? That is a fantastic question. So last couple of weeks has been pretty slow, to be honest, because I'm assuming the holiday. But if we can take a look at how many, I recently did this query here. Take a look at how many requests I had 519 in the last 24 hours. In the last 7 days, I've had 1,940. If I do the last, I don't know. Let's do since through, hold on, here, apply. We've had, 18,000. Yeah, we've had a lot of requests. We get a lot of requests. Yeah, you can see from November 1st to January 1st of obviously this year, 18,341. So this is about 3 months. November, December. No, this is about 2 months. So yeah, I get a decent amount of requests, and this isn't something that I've pushed, which I'm trying to push a little bit more to get people to contribute to it. But yeah, for 18,000 requests or so, it's about what, $2 that we saw. So yeah, you don't need crazy money. It's, if anything, it's just going to take a lot of your time, because building the solutions really take your time. And there's like these little finicky things that you really have to figure out, but that you're only going to encounter if you contribute towards something a little bit more longer term than like short-lived projects. Again, they both have their place, but for specialization, for deeper skill sets, for deeper knowledge, these are the types of projects that are definitely going to help. All right, short video, just something I wanted to share and hopefully encourage you to do these types of projects as well. If you need project ideas, I'll have a GitHub link, and that should be able to show you a couple of examples, and just grab one of these and take a look at them. Like I have some for those related to the 104 skill set, those related to the 204 skill set, those related to the 305, the 400. I don't have AWS projects. I don't have GCP projects. Hopefully the creators, the people who have YouTube channels who are in those spaces can create some for you. But for people in the Azure space, I have those covered there. All right. Let me know which project you want to build this year, and Happy New Year. I'll see you in the next video.